Joan and Sam, I really want to do something special at 8:35.
Okay.
Before we get to Matt Van Epps, who is running for the 7th, I want to, and I've been talking about this today, because the news is kind of terrible today. Like, it really is. I want to know, has anyone ever done a random act of kindness for you? I don't want to know what you've done. I want to know what somebody has done for you. And I've got my example. I think Sam's got his example. Joan's example is that I hired Joan.
Oh, clearly that was the kindest thing.
Yes.
Ever.
Live in poverty. Anyway, moving right along from there. But I want to know from you folks, random acts of kindness. What has someone done for you? And I'm going to actually open up the phone lines at 8:35, and we're going to spend some of the segment hearing what nice things people have done for you. Matt Van Epps is joining us on the Newsmaker Hotline. And Matt, always great to have you on. It's been a minute, and I want to know from you a number of different things, but how do you think the debate went on Friday? And it was, of course, brought to you by WTN and our friends at Americans for Prosperity. How did you think it went?
Hey, Dan, good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. Let me start by saying, you know, when we talked about 3 months ago, you were the first media that we did, and I was so honored to be on. And I can't tell you how many folks across the district were listening to Dan Mandis in the morning and told me about it. And so that has been tremendous. The debate, we thought the debate went really, really well. Matt and Michael did a tremendous job. I think the questions were great. They were really fair. There were a lot of questions. That was probably the longest debate I think we've done. We've done probably 10 or 12.
If you don't mind me asking, I went to bed like right after 7 because I'd had a long week. But how long did it go?
I think it was right at 2 hours.
Wow.
I think it was right at 2 hours. It was probably it was probably 12 questions or so. And I thought it was really great. The rules were fair. And having done 10 or 12 of these debates so far, there were a lot of common questions, but there were new questions in this as well. And I really appreciated that. And we liked where we were at from it. We got a lot of positive feedback that night and then over the weekend as well.
Can you remember what was one of the newer questions that was maybe unique to the debate?
I think there were, there's one on what do you not agree with President Trump on? That's one we have not gotten asked a lot. And then there was one, hey, what do you like about the other candidates? And that was, we have not been asked that before yet either. Those are two top of mind for me.
Was it tough finding something to, like about the other guys? I mean, they're all likable. I've met all of them but Gino Bolso. But, I mean, I met all y'all. I said on the air that it doesn't matter who wins it matters, but we win regardless of which of the top four. If one of you wins, you're all really good. Like, we win either way because I think all of you are great conservatives.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate that. And it was, it wasn't hard to think of something. And, we've been interacting with each other quite a bit now, having been at a lot of these events at the same time. And that was a good question.
Matt, let me ask you this. Are you the only of the top four that were on that stage on Friday? Are you the only one that's not an attorney of those four? I think you are. You're not an attorney, are you?
That's right. I'm not. No, I'm only one that's not an attorney and not a state legislator.
I was going to say, that's the other thing. You're the only one that's not a state legislator, which makes you incredibly unique. Of course, I was going to ask you, you are in the National Guard. And does that make campaigning a little bit more challenging for you because you have to go off and do National Guard things?
It does, but I love doing it. So I did 10 years active duty, and I've been in the National Guard for 10 years now. I was actually in the Kentucky Army National Guard for 2 years, and I've been in the Tennessee Army National Guard for 8 years now. I'm a lieutenant colonel, a deputy brigade commander. My unit's down in Tullahoma, and I absolutely love that aspect of service and wouldn't change that at all. But I do have to take a pause and put the uniform on and do National Guard work. I've got drill coming up this coming weekend, but I've been honored to do it, and I think it gives a great perspective. I'm working a lot on domestic support for civil authorities, so earthquake response and those kind of things. I've done that a lot over the last couple of years. And I'm just honored to do it, put the uniform on once a month and 2 weeks in the summertime.
Would you say that you not being an attorney and you being a member of the National Guard and you not being a state legislator, I mean, do you feel like those are all positives on your resume? It makes you unique?
I do. I think it is a positive as a political outsider, first-time candidate. I think my background and experience in special operations, small business, and state government, still serving in the National Guard, gives a very unique perspective on leadership, boots on the ground leadership, on team building, and execution at a high level. I've taken fire in combat and pushed through. I mean, as a Night Stalker, as a member of the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment at Fort Campbell, part of what we say and part of our creed is that we'd rather die than quit. And those are not just words. That is something we lived up to, deployed 8 times to Afghanistan with that unit. And it's that kind of experience and boots on the ground leadership that will help me push through the most difficult times to fight on behalf of our district, our state, and our country.
It is 8:13, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Matt Van Epps is joining us. Matt, coming up, I'm going to ask you some policy questions and also some National Guard kinds of questions. As far as the National Guard goes, obviously you know that the National Guard has been in the news a lot. And you have any thoughts about Governor Lee and should he send the National Guard to, I'm sure you've been asked this question a bazillion times, but I haven't asked you, so I'm going to ask you.
Sure.
Should Governor Lee send the National Guard to Memphis and here in Nashville? What do you think?
Well, I think the last I've heard is the governor said all options are on the table. But I support the president and his actions here in D.C. and as they're thinking about deploying the National Guard. I mean, listen, crime is real. It's terrible. You look at the impact that the National Guard has had working with law enforcement in Washington, D.C. Overall crime is down. Carjackings are down. Violent crime is down. It's been very successful. And I think as we think about deploying National Guard, I mean, it's from my service in the National Guard, it's a very capable force, very well trained. I'm very proud to be in the National Guard. As we think about that, I think there's 3 kind of guiding principles as I've kind of thought through this problem set, and as I fully support the president in this. And one is that it's targeted, and so it goes after high crime areas, which I think makes a lot of sense. 2 is that it's temporary, where the National Guard goes in for a limited time, works with law enforcement, and gets the mission done, and then redeploys and resets so that we can use that asset again when we need to. And then the last is that it's in partnership with local law enforcement, with county leaders. We now see in D.C. that the mayor's saying, hey, change tunes and saying, love the National Guard being there because of the impact that it's had. And I think that's critical. Some of the first folks that I met with out in the district were sheriffs and chiefs. And I simply asked them, what is it that I can do to help support you as a huge supporter of law enforcement? And that was very helpful to me as I've been thinking through how we best support law enforcement, keep our border secure, but fully support the president in what he's doing in these efforts.
Yeah, one of the big questions, Matt Van Epps is joining us. One of the big questions that a lot of folks have, including yours truly, and I've been asking this. So, what happens when you see the National Guard leave? I mean, the worry, of course. Like, let's say we go into Memphis. Just talking here. Let's say we go into Memphis. Everybody chills out for like 30 days, but once the National Guard leaves, once that surge is gone, the concern is that you're going to see the crime just simply spike up again because the boots on the ground are no longer there.
Sure, and that's a good question. I think it's that part about partnership. I think partnering with local leaders, with law enforcement, to give them the ability to do what they do so well, and give them a time where the surge goes in, we arrest and get violent criminals off the street, and hopefully that makes a dent and it makes it easier after that. But that's a real concern.
One of the other big concerns that we have is that there is, especially in these bigger cities where they don't appreciate law enforcement, like a Memphis, like a Chicago, like a Nashville, all these Democrat-run cities. What do you think the answer is to this shortage of law enforcement officers? I mean, you want to be a member of Congress. I mean, is there anything that, comes to mind immediately where we can start to refilling those ranks?
Well, I think first and foremost is just it's support for law enforcement. One of the things that I've heard out in the district is that law enforcement now, our chiefs and our sheriffs, they feel like the partnership with the federal government and federal law enforcement and those agencies is just incredible right now. And it's been such a change from 4 years in the Biden administration. And that partnership is so key and critical. And then when we have folks that just support law enforcement and get out and talk about how important it is, and that is just, it's so vital to supporting our first responders. And so I think it's the partnerships, it's the support, and I think we've seen the ICE now. I think has more applicants than they've seen before, and it's on the federal side, it's the same thing with the military. The president has driven our country in such a great direction that recruiting is coming back in the military. Federal law enforcement is an incredible amount of applicants. And that's what happens when we have real boots on the ground leadership in the White House. And the president's doing an incredible job from that. And that's what I want to go and support, fight for our district and our state and our country.
One of the things that we mentioned earlier, you are, of the four that were on that stage the other night, you're the only one that is not a lawyer, an attorney. You did go to West Point. So forgive my ignorance on how West Point works. Clearly, I didn't serve in the military. So what did you study at West Point? Is it like a general degree? What do you study there?
Yeah, so it was a Bachelor of Science, and my major was political science with a focus on international relations. And I did quite a bit of work in the social sciences department when I was there. I was an undergraduate fellow for something called the Center for the Study of the Presidency that has now become the Center for the Study of the Presidency and Congress, and did a bunch of those kind of programs studying terrorism. They stood up the Combating Terrorism Center when I was at West Point. I went in July of 2001, right before 9/11.
Wow.
And Dan, let me just tell you too, that thank you for supporting the Patriot Awards and doing that. That's incredible. It's just so important to veterans and active military and that support. And I greatly appreciate that, especially as we're approaching 9/11,
yep.
Which was a very formative experience for me as a freshman, as a plebe at West Point. We knew that day that we were going to war, and that's what we prepared for that entire time. And I think maybe I shared this story with you before, but I've been talking about it across the district. My class went in during a time of peace. We were at about 1,200 cadets. 9/11 happens. In May of 2005, Time Magazine put 3 of my classmates on the cover and called us the class of 9/11. There's normal attrition that happens at West Point. And when we got to May 28, 2005 on our graduation day, we found out that we were graduating with exactly 911 cadets, which is something that gives me goosebumps still today. And our class motto was keeping freedom alive. And that's what we went out to do, is to fight terrorism and defend our country. And a number of my classmates and friends paid the ultimate sacrifice. And it is something that I will never forget. And it's something I will carry with me as we fight on behalf of America and in our district and Congress.
So give me, and I know that you've been asked this question 1,000 times, but give me your top 3 priorities as we wrap this up. Give me your top 3 priorities if you make it into the House.
So the way we're thinking about this is framed in 3 buckets: security, opportunity, and prosperity. Under security, it's keeping the border secure. It's working to deport illegal aliens, but then it's also supporting our local law enforcement. On the opportunity side, we've got to keep taxes low. We've got to get I'm a school choice proponent. We've got to get the power out of Washington and back in the hands of parents. We've got to support kids along the way. We've got to remove woke ideology. We've got to ensure that boys stay in boys' bathrooms and girls stays in girls' bathrooms. On the prosperity side, it's about keeping taxes low, cutting regulations, returning manufacturing to America, reshoring that. It's about unleashing American energy independence through nuclear energy, oil and gas. And it's about supporting our small businesses, our farmers, and our families across the district. And we're going to work across all of those. And I'm so excited to have that opportunity.
Is there going to be another debate that you know of anytime soon? Because I know that a lot of people had a lot of interest in the one that just happened. And I know you said there's been a bunch of these. Do you know when the next one is going to be?
Well, I'm actually in Dixon right now this morning for a candidate forum. And then there are a couple of others coming up, and I don't remember off the top of my mind, but we do have a couple on the calendar.
All right. Well, listen, if you want to find out more about Matt Van Epps, if you want to donate and all those things, it's mattfortn.com, right? Mattfortn.com?
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank
you. Absolutely. Thank you for checking in. Matt Van Epps wants to be the congressman for the 7th Congressional District. And I think that, that, from what I understand, that debate on Friday night, it was really, really good. A lot of people showed up and a lot of folks listened on the radio. And, there's going to be a lot more. Little classic rock, 99.7 WTN. Actually, it's Super Talk, 99.7. I literally got confused as to what station I was on.
What did you say? I missed it.
Well, it's classic rock. I said classic rock, 99.7 WTN, because he's playing. Sam is, again, taking liberties with the bumper music.
Has our format changed?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's a little early.
Must be, on the way.
Oh, that route.
Classic rock?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No? All right.
No.
All right, so we're going to have fun in this segment. I'm ordering everybody to have fun.
Yes, sir.
Because the news, and you admitted, Chris, that it's kind of it's a good news day, but it's all like just, woman murdered on the train and...
Bit of a Debbie Downer.
On this show, it's a Danny Downer.
Danny
Thank
Downer,
you.
I apologize.
So I'm forcing everybody to try to have a good time. Kind of like when you take your kids, like to the zoo when they're like 15 and they don't care about animals anymore. It's kind of what we're doing here. So what we're doing is we're talking about those moments, those times when somebody did something really nice for you, random acts of kindness to you. So I want to hear Sam's first because he's going to be screening calls, although we have full phone lines. And I don't want to take up all the time with us because I want to hear what people have to say. But Sam, go ahead real quick.
So there was a property I was helping manage that had turned into an Airbnb over in Germantown, Nashville area. My family had previously used the building as a law firm. They sold it, but then the value just started to climb. Guy came in and bought it, and he owned it, managed it for a few months, and I was taking care of the yard and everything external, sometimes internal in the property if something broke. And he sold it. And when he did, he had a shed full of stuff, a generator, power tools, all sorts of stuff, probably $3,000 or $4,000 worth of equipment.
Nice.
And he lived in Colorado. So when the sale went through and they closed, he gave it to me. He gave me everything in that shed.
Nice.
And to me, it was I had no idea why. I didn't need any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then 3 years later, I'm owning my own home, and I need my circular saw. Yep. I need my power drill, my impact gun, and all the tools that he gave me. And then I sold the generator, and it allowed me to buy my wife's engagement ring.
Let's go.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. All right, Joan.
Good one. So this happened to me this weekend. I was traveling, flying from Baltimore to here. Oh, no, I'm sorry, from here to Baltimore. And I had a backpack on, had my granddaughter in my hands. The backpack, the adjustable straps on them?
Yep.
It comes apart. Now my backpack is hanging off of me. A lady comes over and she says, I just feel the need to help. Can I put this back on for you? So while I'm holding the baby and I'm trying to put my shoes on and, I'll do all kinds of things, she is fixing my backpack for me. And she said, just have a great day. And
Let's
I thought
go.
it was so simple. And it was
very
such a
nice.
sweet thing to do,
Yeah. All right, very good.
Yeah.
Philly Joan would have said, get away from me, you weirdo.
Philly Joan would have knifed her.
Philly
kidding.
Joan was not channeled that day.
I was not.
She's
No.
like, what car are you driving? I want to slash your tires.
I was accepting of the help.
Chris.
All right, so this was a few years ago. It was Christmas Day. Christmas Day, we had just gotten our new house a couple months back. We have very, very young kids. Kennedy's, 5, and my youngest is 3. My other youngest was 0. So we're very young kids. And you know how Christmas is. It's expensive. Mm-hmm. Times get a little bit tight. Like not like pawning off the jewelry type, but it's Christmas time. And we get a knock on the door. And it's Christmas morning, and we missed who was there at the door, but we open up the door, and there's this big bag of presents for all the kids.
Wow.
And banana muffins. And a card, I kid you not, and I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but it was $100 or $200 in a card. Mm-hmm. And said, we've been there before. Have a great Christmas.
How good? Did you ever figure out who it was?
No idea.
That is so sweet.
No idea. It was one of the nicest things that ever happened to us.
I've been very lucky. I've got several, but I'm going to make them quick. I've told both of these stories on the air before. My car stalled out in the middle of the road, and a guy who was in front of me, not behind me, and that's important because if he was behind me, he would have been helping me start my car so that he could go. But he was in front of me. My Jeep stalled. He gets out of the car in the middle of traffic and tells me to pop my hood, and he fixed my car literally on the spot. He said, I know Jeep Patriots. They're pieces of junk. I know exactly what the problem is. I had one, and he fixed my car right on the spot.
That's awesome.
And he didn't have to.
I love that.
I'll never forget that. So that's number one. Number two, similar story to yours. I had gotten fired from my first ever programming job. I actually prefer the term cutback, but whatever. And so
you were riffed.
I was one of the famous Clear Channel riffs.
Oh, was that in 2008? Was it the part of the Obama riffs?
Yep.
You know that they did that. They did that to everybody. They hid behind firing everybody on the inauguration of Barack Obama.
Ah, very good. Well, anyway, so I got an anonymous card in the mail as well. So, and never did figure out who it was. Also, a couple of things. You know, listeners are doing nice things for us all the time. We don't talk about it because I don't want to encourage it. Because I don't want people to feel like we're trolling for stuff.
Yeah, it makes you feel kind of guilty.
But like Lindsay, she's always making us crafts.
Yep.
Like we got a bunch of pot holders back there. I've already taken a couple home for me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Lindsay's always doing cool stuff. And she doesn't have to, but she does. Donna, a while back, you remember Donna, Joan, bought me the In-N-Out book.
Oh,
right
yes.
before I was supposed to go on vacation. So people just...
And she brought us the Polish cookies, remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was that, Donna?
Yeah.
Bless you, woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was known as Mandinsky that day because she brought in Polish cookies. That was dumb. So let me find out what people now... I was like, yeah, that was dumb. Phil in Nashville, give us your story. What has somebody done for you? Random act of kindness.
Hey, good morning, guys. About 25 years ago, we had recently moved to Nashville, and I had recently lost my job. In the process of all of that, we were renting an apartment. We were essentially raising our grandson, so funds were very, very low. My rent was coming due, and we didn't have maybe $5 or $10 in the bank. And the day before our eviction was to be processed, I got a call from our apartment manager that said, Phil, your rent has been paid for the month. You don't have to pay your rent. I have no idea who paid it. I have no idea how that happened.
That is amazing.
But nevertheless, I got my rent paid, and in the process of that, I made the promise that I would eventually, if possible, when possible, pay it forward. And since then, I've been able to do that several times. Maybe not to the extent of paying someone's rent, but I've been able to help people out from time to time.
I love that.
Phil, love it, and thank you very much.
Awesome story.
Yeah, thank you very much for what you did. Blair's in Nashville and WTN line 2. Go. Hey, Blair.
Hey, I had actually died twice and had to have a pacemaker put in.
You died
And of
twice?
course, my husband, yeah.
Can I just ask, this is probably a dumb question, Blair, but was it on the same day or was it two separate times?
No, it was actually separate times, almost a year to the day, from 1 year to the other, and they finally figured out I needed a pacemaker. So, of course, my husband had stayed at the hospital with me, missed work. I had missed work. And then when I came home, this lovely lady from church, I don't even know how she knew we needed any kind of help, but she took her off from work. I don't know if it was a vacation day without pay or what, but she took off from work and sat with me that day that I came home so my husband could go to work. And I just can't tell you how special that was, that she took care of me like a mom.
That's awesome, Blair.
I was a grown woman.
Blair, can I ask a very personal question? And I only got 30 seconds for you to answer, but when you died, did it affirm your faith, or how did you feel about it when you woke up?
The first time did not. The second time did. I absolutely believe in God and afterlife, and absolutely.
He got your attention.
I'm not afraid to die.
Yeah.
All right, Blair, thank you very much for the call. Wow, that's amazing. Daniel's on the road on line 3. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, what's going on? So mine is a double kindness. We were at a Sounds game, the old stadium, Greer Stadium, and we're all way out in the cheap seats, well beyond third base. And suddenly, the Lance family, like the crackers that you might buy, they came up to us and said, "Hey, we're supposed to throw the first ceremonial pitch. Would you like to do it?" It was me, my brother, and my mom, and here we go down to the field. And then suddenly, my brother, they gave him the ball. He turns to me and says, "No, you throw it." And that was a double kindness right there in one sweep.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Chris, have you thrown? Thank you, Daniel. Have you thrown out the first pitch yet at a?
I have not. I have fear of embarrassment, so I'd probably make my sons do it.
Do you know what? Here's the thing, though, is that Matt Murphy actually, when he and I threw out the first pitch, I think it was a couple of years ago, he didn't even make it to the plate.
Oh, no.
And he backstopped it. So, yeah, talk to Matt Murphy about how to deal with the embarrassment.
This is exactly why I would bring both of my sons and say, you guys do it.
Fred.
You just called him out that way.
Fred is, we joked about it. Fred is in South Central on Super Talk 99.7. Go ahead, Fred.
Hello. I was driving back from Chattanooga with my 4-year-old son in the back seat of my Ford Focus 4-door car. Not a big car, but I stupidly ran out of gas about 2 miles before Murfreesboro exit. And so don't want to wake up my son. Don't want to try to carry him, get gas and all this. So I just start pushing the car. It was all right at first. It was flat, easy going. And so it became uphill. I'm singing the doxology just to, sort of like a prayer. And suddenly out of nowhere, a tow truck comes up behind me, gently touches my bumper, says, "Get in." He pushes me to the top of the hill. And as I begin to gain speed, he leaves. Not a word said. I drift. I gain speed all the way down the exit and pull up to the pump in the gas station right off the exit. And not another word said.
But
I'm not sure if it was an angel,
right,
or a human being.
Well, you know what, Fred, to you, he was an angel. That's awesome, and thank you very much for the call. Jan is on line 2 in Nashville on WTN. Jan, go ahead.
Okay, so my father owned a bunch of rental property, and he had a family that rented for him a house for about 20 years. The lady worked in the laundry at Duke University. Long story short, she was never late on a payment, never. One Christmas, he asked us all to come home, the kids and the family, to come to the house. So we go to my mom and dad's house. This renter family comes up into our home, and he said, "You have been the best tenant ever. You paid me for 20 years on time, never missed, never late." And he gave her the deed to the house.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing.
And he said, you are now only responsible for homeowners insurance and taxes. And they just started crying. We all did.
I'd cry too.
That is amazing.
That's a great story.
That is a great story, Jan. Thank you very much. Sam, how much time do we have? Do we have time for one more?
Do we have time to read the text I just got from Matt Murphy?
Go ahead. Oh, no. Is he calling me out for calling him out about how he hit the backstop? And the mascot for the Sounds was like, he couldn't even stop it.
He said, "Wow, during the Random Acts of Kindness segment, Matt Murphy catches a stray bullet from Dan Mandis."
More like a stray pitch, Matt.
Oh, come on, man. No, I mean that in all due love and respect. Like, I'm just going to say, I barely made it to the thing that I was throwing it to.
Yep.
What is the Sounds mascot called?
Ozzy.
Ozzy. I barely made it to Ozzy. All right.
This is what Matt Murphy always says. All my kids are the best, but this is when kids really do come in handy, because I'd look like a great dad. I wouldn't be embarrassed, and then the kids would have a great memory.
There you go.
Ever been in like the Chick-fil-A line and the person in front of you pays for your meal?
No.
So that happened. Really?
No.
Maybe that's a Northeast thing. I don't know.
I've done that.
I've done
that for people before.
I've done that for people.
Yeah.
I have not had somebody do it for me. I don't think.
It's happened for me. I thought that was really nice.
I saw a meme on the internet. This guy is getting honked at in the drive-thru because he's taking too much time.
Mm-hmm.
He gets up to the first window. He pays for both orders for the person behind him that was honking.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to the second window. He presents both receipts and takes her food too.
Really quickly, Jeff is in Summertown. Jeff, what random act of kindness has someone done for you?
Hey, hi y'all. Hey, I used to live in Cool Springs, and I was going down the interstate right in front of the mall at rush hour, and I saw this really nice Mercedes, so I pulled over to help them change a tire. And as I was doing that, I knew who it was, but I wasn't about to say anything, and I finally couldn't do it. I said, "You're Possum, aren't you?" He said, "Yes, I'm George Jones, and this is my wife, Nancy." And I was like, I knew it. So I fixed this 450 whatever up, got the tire changed, dropped the jack down, and he shook my hand, and I could tell he greased my palm, but I didn't look at it. Went home a little bit later, it was $100 bill. I was like, oh, and I took a picture of it because it lasted a lot longer than the bill did. And as he drove away, it said no show. I was like, how did you not see no show? But it took me about 10 minutes, but I waited. I didn't say nothing. But I said, "You're Possum, aren't you?" Oh, I shook both their hands, and that was I got goosebumps right now. And I know y'all got to go, but I love all of y'all. I've been listening for 20-plus years, literally every day all day long for the last 15 years. And, man, I got to throw out a shout-out to Uncle Phil with your 100,000 watts because he might not hear me out here in the woods.
All right, but, Jeff. Thank you very much.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all take it easy. Love y'all.
You too.
Appreciate you, Jeff.
Oh, wow.
There you go. All right, very good. Jeff's a good guy, obviously smart, knows how to change a tire.
Yeah?
Yeah.